Welcome to I Love This Thing So Frigging Much, a podcast about passion. My name is Sophie Katz, and today I am joined by Kevin, a dungeon master of 2 years, an avid Dungeons & Dragons fan for 3 years, and a huge fan of the Dungeons & Dragons stream Critical Role. Welcome to the show, Kevin.
Thanks, Sophie. I'm happy to be here and to be a guest.
I'm happy to have you here. So, here's how this works. Kevin will have 3 minutes to talk about something that he loves. This can be a person, place, thing, concept, activity, anything he wants. Our only requirement is that he loves it wholeheartedly and wants to tell us why. Are you ready, Kevin?
I believe I'm ready.
Okay, got my timer. So, what do you love so frigging much?
Well, the thing that I love so friggin' much is Dungeons & Dragons. It's a tabletop board game, role-playing game. So the way that it works is you get a bunch of your friends together and create characters. This can be in a fantasy realm. This can be for science fiction. But you have these fictional characters, and it's you have basically a story be told through these characters. Basically, what D&D is, it's a tool for collaborative storytelling. You are having these fictional characters that you're playing as, and you're taking them on this wonderful journey to slay a dragon, to rescue the princess, to do whatever the story that is set before you. And there's trials and tribulations along the way. There is stories of success and tragedy. You are basically just telling this very imaginative and incredible story through imagination and role playing. This game is told, or excuse me, the story is told mostly through the eyes of the dungeon master, who is the narrator and referee of the game. They know all the rules, but they also know the story. The dungeon master acts as friend and foe. They are they're the tavern owner. They're the shopkeeper. They're also the evil wizard working against the heroes. But the way that it works is, the dungeon master puts the story out in front of the players, and the players work through the story, trying to succeed in whatever way they can. And it's just this, it's a tool for storytelling that honestly I think is so fantastic. I play so many games. I've run 2 games for 2 different groups of people, and I'm a player in my friend's game. And I'm doing it. I'm most commonly a dungeon master. I've been DMing for several years, and I have it. I like to think that it's a very nice way to be a creative outlet for myself. Being able to write a story and have my friends go through that story. I would almost describe it as like I'm making this I'm making this imaginary playground, and getting to watch my friends play in it is such a joy. I also get to be on the other side of that. I get to be a player. I'm running through a module that my friend is running right now called, what's the name of it? Hoard of the Dragon Queen. That's it. It's one of the official adventures that Wizards of the Coast, the company that owns Dungeons & Dragons, has released. I am playing a turtle, which is a anthropomorphic turtle person. He is a wizard, so he has a big old wizard staff, a very nice,
Finish your thought.
Okay. But he's getting to play that character has been so fun. It's one of the reasons why I get to like D&D, is to be able to role play as a different character and tell them amazing stories with my friends.
It certainly sounds like a lot of fun. Thank you for telling us about Dungeons & Dragons.
You're very welcome, Sophie.
So I got some questions for you. First, I want to know, how did you first learn about Dungeons & Dragons?
So that is a long, winding a tale of one thing led to another, and then to another, and to another. The short version of it is that I heard about a D&D stream that was mentioned earlier called Critical Role. Starting in 2015, a bunch of voice actors, people that do voices for television shows, video games, etc., they got together and ran a game of Dungeons & Dragons. It's been going on for 5 years now, and I got so attached to the characters and the story, and I knew that I wanted to play. So I went to my local game shop and got to do a little test run at the shop, playing an old character, and I was hooked.
You went from being a spectator to thinking, I want to do it myself.
Essentially, yeah. And I guess to add on to that too is when I kind of got a feel for the game with playing at the game shop, I really wanted to play it with my friends. But because I was the one that knew most about the game at the time, I was like, well, fine, I'll be the dungeon master. So I had to learn very quickly how to tell a good story, and I got a bunch of my friends together. We started playing, and I've been DMing ever since.
You mentioned that you loved taking on different characters, and as a dungeon master, you end up having to take on all the other characters in the world. Is there a particular character that you created as a dungeon master for your players to interact with that stands out in your memory as one you particularly love?
I can name a couple. I'm going to name one that is not a spoiler, just in case any of my players listen to this podcast. So I'll say the one that I would like to name off. Probably would be I created a female half-elf sorcerer to be this kind of like the best friend in the house next door kind of friend. Like she'll show up to talk and be friendly with the party when they need him, or when they need her. But yeah, I've really liked creating her backstory and playing her. She's just very cheerful and very kind, and I don't know. I think I like that a lot. Her name is Illyria.
Ah, good. She sounds very nice to play with. All right, so is there anything that you don't like about Dungeons and Dragons?
I mean, I think that I would like anything that I would say would probably be some like nitpicking in some ways. Sometimes when it comes to in-game, people have different opinions of how the game wants to be run, and sometimes that can lead to disagreements.
What do you do about those disagreements?
So usually when there's disagreements about things in-game, usually it's able to be resolved pretty quickly. Most players that are respectful are usually able to defer to the DM. And he's the one that usually makes it's like something if a ruling comes up or things like that. Usually you defer to the DM. The DM has final say. As I mentioned, they're kind of like the referee of the game. I think one other thing that I'll mention to answer that question though is D&D because it had its origins so far ago in the 80s. There's still a lot of people that kind of gatekeep it a little bit. With thinking that D&D is one specific way, and if it's not this way, then it's not D&D. And I think those opinions are silly, frankly. I heard this phrase a while ago, and it's been sticking with me ever since. There is always room at the table. Mm-hmm. So I think D&D is a game that everyone should at least give a try, and if you do, I hope it's something you keep doing.
It's certainly more fun to play with other people than to keep other people out.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much for telling us about Dungeons and Dragons today.
You're very welcome, Sophie.
And thank you, our listeners, for tuning in today. If you would like to learn more about Dungeons and Dragons or our guest Kevin, you can find his social media information in the episode description. And don't forget to use the hashtag #LoveThisThingCast to tell us about the things you love. I Love This Thing So Frigging Much is a production of Through the Window Media. This episode was directed by Sophie A. Katz and edited by Melissa Block. You can find us at Through the Window on Twitter, Instagram, or Tumblr. That is THROU the Window at all those social media sites. Be good to yourself, be kind to each other, and you'll hear from us again soon.